Happy birthday, Gung Gung.
Happy birthday, Baba. We wish you a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Behind every legend is a story the world never sees, and Shannon Lee has lived it. Most people know the name Bruce Lee. Some know the tragedy of Brandon Lee, but few understand the incredible journey of the woman who has carried both their legacies, not with noise, but with unwavering strength. Shannon Lee was born into a dynasty, yet spent her life trying to build an identity the world would not define for her. She has faced loss that could shatter anyone, responsibilities that could overwhelm anyone, and expectations that could crush anyone. But instead of breaking, she rose. She became a martial artist, a producer, an author, a cultural advocate, and the driving force behind keeping one of the world's greatest icons alive for new generations. Today, we're uncovering the story most people never hear: the challenges, the triumphs, the heartbreak, and the incredible purpose that shaped Shannon Lee into the guardian of an empire rooted in philosophy, resilience, and creative fire. If you think you know the Lee family, think again. This is the journey of the woman behind the legend, Shannon Lee. She grew up in the immense shadow of her family's legacy, closely tied to her older brother, Brandon Lee, born in 1965. He followed the path carved by their father before his life was tragically cut short in 1993 at 28. Their connection ran deep, built on shared pressures and the weight of a legendary name, and his death became a defining break in Shannon's life. Her early years unfolded between Los Angeles and Hong Kong, reflecting Bruce Lee's international career. This constant movement exposed her to both American and Chinese traditions, shaping a blended identity that flowed through her like two converging streams. But stability shattered early. Bruce Lee's sudden death in 1973, when Shannon was only 4, struck her childhood with the force of a storm. In 1974, her mother, Linda Lee Cadwell, moved the family back to Los Angeles, determined to create something steady amid the chaos. Shannon grew up mostly away from the spotlight, her mother intent on giving her a normal childhood, despite the enduring presence of Bruce Lee's global legacy. His memory surrounded her, living in stories, preserved in film, echoed in the admiration of fans. When Shannon eventually stepped into martial arts, it wasn't to inherit a title. It was her way of understanding the craft on her own terms. She trained seriously across multiple styles, building a foundation that honored traditional principles while embracing modern discipline. Through that journey, she forged her own identity within a legacy that began long before her. According to Black Belt magazine, Shannon Lee trained in Jeet Kune Do, her father's revolutionary art, as well as taekwondo, widening her skill set beyond Bruce Lee's original system. Her introduction to JKD came through Richard Bustillo, one of Bruce Lee's early students, giving her a direct line to her father's teachings through authentic experience rather than distant stories. Shannon's relationship with JKD deepened in the late 1990s, when she began treating it not as family heritage, but as a discipline requiring real dedication. As she prepared for action roles, she continued her training under Ted Wong, another of Bruce Lee's trusted students, who helped preserve JKD after Bruce's passing. Under Wong's guidance, Shannon learned that JKD's essence lay in efficiency, adaptability, and honest movement, less a fixed style and more a path towards self-discovery. She strengthened her foundation further by studying taekwondo with Dung Doelin, gaining precision, balance, and powerful kicking techniques. Her martial education expanded again through wushu with Eric Chen, whose instruction introduced her to fluid, expressive movement rooted in traditional Chinese aesthetics. She also trained in kickboxing with Benny the Jet Urquidez, gaining insight into full-contact combat, timing, and endurance. This diverse background allowed Shannon to shift between styles with confidence and reinforced her belief that martial arts should grow with the practitioner. Seeking her own identity outside Hollywood, Shannon attended Tulane University in New Orleans from 1987 to 1991. The city's vibrant artistic culture offered a space far removed from the martial arts world associated with her family. According to the official Bruce Lee website, she earned a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Vocal Performance, committing herself to rigorous training in voice, breath control, interpretation, and stagecraft. During her years at Tulane, Shannon appeared in musicals, operas, and concerts, performances that became essential to her artistic development. Through live theater, she learned discipline, collaboration, and emotional presence, skills that would later support her work as both an actress and a producer. Stepping onto a college campus gave Shannon Lee something she had rarely experienced before: room to breathe on her own terms. It was a chance to discover who she was beyond her father's towering legacy, while still embracing the creativity that flowed through her family like a quiet but unshakable current. Decades later, in 2020, she revisited that defining chapter during a virtual conversation with Tulane alumni, reflecting on her student years, the challenge of carrying the Bruce Lee name, and the twist-filled journey her career would take. Shannon described how Tulane helped shape her confidence and sharpen her artistic curiosity, providing a foundation she would rely on long after graduation. Her acting career began with a profoundly personal step. In 1993, she appeared briefly in Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, the film depicting her father's life. The role was small, yet emotionally immense. The movie premiered the same year her brother Brandon passed away. For Shannon, appearing in the film wasn't about entering Hollywood. It was about honoring her family's story during a time of deep loss. Through the late 1990s and early 2000s, she continued to act, taking supporting roles that allowed her to learn steadily rather than chase immediate fame. She appeared in action-driven films like High Voltage and Enter the Eagles, where her martial arts background added natural authenticity. Her appearance in Blade further tied her to the action genre, aligning well with her physical abilities and screen presence. Shannon also explored roles outside the action sphere, including She, Me, and Her, which let her experiment with more character-focused storytelling. Though these roles didn't make her a mainstream star, they became essential to her education. Through them, she learned the mechanics of filmmaking, choreography, blocking, camera technique, and the collaboration required between actors and directors. Each project added another layer to her understanding of the craft. She didn't step away from the spotlight so much as turn the lens around. By the mid-2000s, Shannon Lee began rethinking life in front of the camera, drawn instead to the creative command of working behind it, where she could shape stories as a whole, rather than live inside a single frame. This shift reflected a desire to create, without being tethered to one role or public identity. Her on-screen journey closed quietly in 2012 with the short film Tekken Reload, a blend of action, gaming culture, and martial arts. It was a deliberate farewell, like a final bow in a dimming theater. Producing became her next canvas. In 2008, she took on Li Xiaolong Chuanqi, The Legend of Bruce Lee, a 50-episode Chinese series tracing Bruce Lee's path from Hong Kong to international stardom, dramatizing his struggles and ascent. For Shannon, it was both a professional leap and a deeply personal undertaking, balancing accuracy, story, and cultural respect like a tightrope artist steadying each step. She followed with 2 television films about her father in 2009 and 2012, further establishing herself as a careful steward of his legacy, committed to moving past myth and spotlighting his philosophy, rigor, and enduring impact. Each project refined her voice as a producer and taught her how to speak to global audiences while preserving the core of his vision. A major breakthrough came in 2016, Warrior. As executive producer, Shannon helped revive a concept Bruce Lee had crafted decades earlier. Its original pages, later rediscovered. Set in 1870s San Francisco during the Tong Wars, The series fused historical drama, martial arts, and social commentary, gritty and propulsive like a drumline driving a march. Reflecting on its origins, she noted the journey truly began 50 years ago with him, a dream finally brought to light. Premiering in 2019, Warrior built a devoted following. After its Cinemax run, it moved to Max, where Season 3 debuted in June 2023, cementing it as one of the most successful posthumous realizations of Bruce Lee's creative vision. Through these works, Shannon Lee has become more than a guardian of memory. She's a creative force, carrying her father's unfinished ideas forward like a flame passed carefully from one generation to the next. While carrying one of the most recognizable surnames in modern culture, she shaped her personal world with intention and privacy, protecting it like a calm sanctuary away from the storm of fame. In 1994, she married Ian Kiesler, a partner outside Hollywood's relentless spotlight. Their marriage has quietly endured, reflecting Shannon's long-standing desire to keep her family life grounded and insulated from outside noise. In 2003, the couple welcomed their daughter, Ren. From the beginning, Shannon focused on raising her with a strong sense of self, one that reached beyond the shadow of the Lee legacy. Drawing from her own childhood, after losing her father young, she emphasized normalcy, education, and emotional closeness over celebrity attention. As Ren grew, natural threads of family tradition surfaced. According to Shannon's social media, Ren now attends Tulane University, walking the same campus her mother did more than 30 years earlier. The parallel feels symbolic, stitching together 3 generations through independence and creative curiosity, like a familiar theme returning in a long-forgotten song. Much like Shannon's own college experience, Ren's time at Tulane reflects both continuity and individuality, honoring her roots while carving out her own future. In 2020, mother and daughter appeared together in a heartfelt tribute on Bruce Lee's official YouTube channel to celebrate what would have been his 80th birthday. The moment offered a rare glimpse into the family's bond, revealing how Bruce Lee's influence endures not only as a global icon, but as the grandfather Ren never met. The tribute centered on remembrance and gratitude, highlighting how Bruce Lee's values were passed down through wisdom rather than presence, like a guiding light left behind for future generations. Though Shannon guards her daughter's privacy, she occasionally shares small, warm glimpses of their lives. One such moment came on Mother's Day, 2023, when she posted a photo of herself, Ren, and her mother, Linda Lee Cadwell, captioned, "A happy Mama's Day was had by all the Lee ladies." It captured 3 generations bound by resilience and affection. Yet interwoven with Shannon's family story is a profound tragedy. Her advocacy for stronger gun safety standards on film sets stems from deeply personal loss. In 1993, her brother Brandon Lee was killed after being accidentally shot with a prop gun during the filming of The Crow. The incident exposed severe failures in on-set safety and left Shannon facing not only heartbreak, but the painful knowledge that his death could and should have been prevented. The loss of her brother remained a shadow over Shannon Lee's life for decades, a constant reminder of the dangers that arise when real firearms are used in controlled environments. As the years passed and similar tragedies resurfaced, she became increasingly outspoken about the need for stronger on-set protections. The issue gained new urgency in 2021, when cinematographer Helena Hutchins was killed on the set of Rust after a prop gun held by Alec Baldwin fired a live round. The incident jolted Hollywood, reigniting long-standing arguments about whether real guns should be used in filmmaking at all. Shannon responded quickly, urging studios to implement mandatory gun safety protocols and stating bluntly that the safeguards in place were far from adequate. Nearly 30 years after Brandon's death, she found it infuriating that the industry still lacked meaningful reform. To her, every repeated tragedy underscored the same failure: a refusal to learn from the past, and an unwillingness to place human life above convenience or tradition. Her advocacy intensified in 2023 after Baldwin was charged with involuntary manslaughter. That same year, she supported an editorial calling for an outright ban on real firearms on sets, arguing that modern effects, digital, practical, or sound-based, can create the illusion of gunfire without risking anyone's life. Shannon has remained firm in her position. With today's technology, there is no artistic justification for exposing cast and crew to potentially lethal weapons. Beyond her safety advocacy, she has also taken on a profound role as the guardian of Bruce Lee's legacy. As CEO of the Bruce Lee Family Company, she carries forward the work she has quietly done since around 2000, protecting her father's image, philosophy, and intellectual property from misuse. Although the company was formally established in 2011, Shannon had already been shaping its direction for years, ensuring that Bruce Lee's identity would be preserved with integrity, rather than diluted by commercial exploitation. Gaining full stewardship marked a turning point, allowing her to guide how her father's legacy reaches new generations. The company was passed down to her by her mother, Linda Lee Cadwell, who continues to serve as its most trusted advisor. Shannon affectionately refers to her as our #1 consultant, who is always within reach. This collaboration between mother and daughter keeps Bruce Lee's voice authentic, combining first-hand memory with modern strategy. In her role as CEO, Shannon oversees everything from film and TV projects to publishing, licensing, digital media, and educational programs. Her approach is not rooted in nostalgia, but in relevance, ensuring Bruce Lee's message evolves. With Shannon Lee has refused to let her father remain a still image from the 1970s. Instead, she works to present Bruce Lee as he truly was, a philosopher, cultural thinker, and innovator whose ideas on discipline, adaptability, and self-expression feel as alive today as ever. Her motivation is simple and deeply personal. As she once explained, she has devoted herself to keeping her father's energy alive because his words and way of living profoundly shaped her own growth. Her mission extends far beyond business. Shannon also leads the Bruce Lee Foundation as its president, guiding a nonprofit dedicated to empowering individuals through education, leadership, and philosophical exploration rooted in Bruce Lee's teachings. Under her direction, the foundation supports global programs, including Camp Bruce Lee, a summer experience designed for children. The camp emphasizes confidence, mindfulness, physical activity, and emotional resilience, turning Bruce Lee's core principles into practical tools young people can carry into daily life. Shannon's commitment to honoring her father deepened even further through writing. One of her most personal contributions is her book Be Water, My Friend, The Teachings of Bruce Lee, a blend of memoir, philosophy, and reflection. Rather than offering a standard biography, she presents his ideas as a living, evolving philosophy, something meant to be applied, questioned, and adapted, much like water taking the shape of whatever it encounters. The book includes intimate stories drawn from family memories, letters, and private conversations, moments never intended for public eyes. These glimpses reveal Bruce Lee not only as the martial artist the world knows, but as a father, husband, and constant seeker of truth. Through her lens as a daughter, Shannon adds emotional texture to episodes that history often reduces to legend, restoring their humanity. At the heart of the book lies Bruce Lee's most iconic teaching, Be Water. Shannon expands on this philosophy with clarity, showing how adaptability, honesty with oneself, and continual growth guided her through loss, uncertainty, and transformation. By grounding his ideas in her lived experiences, she invites readers to apply Bruce Lee's wisdom far beyond martial arts, into relationships, leadership, creativity, and personal resilience. Her storytelling doesn't end with prose. In 2016, Shannon stepped into the world of graphic narratives, co-writing Bruce Lee, The Dragon Rises with Jeff Kline and Adam Beechin, a project that brought her father's legacy into a new medium, vibrant and accessible to younger generations. As we trace the arc of Shannon Lee's life, from the weight of a legendary surname to the fierce determination of a woman forging her own path, one thing becomes crystal clear. Her story isn't just about legacy, it's about stewardship, resilience, and the courage to carry a flame without being burned by its brightness. She has turned her father's philosophy into living action, transformed grief into purpose, and reshaped a global icon into a three-dimensional human being whose ideas still ripple across generations like water, finding its way through stone. And through all of it, Shannon stands not just as Bruce Lee's daughter, but as a creator, a protector, and a storyteller in her own right. If this journey inspired you, if it gave you a new lens on the Lee family, or if it reminded you that legacy is something we build one choice at a time, then go ahead and hit that like button. Share this video with someone who loves powerful stories. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the lives behind the legends. Drop a comment below. What part of Shannon Lee's journey resonates with you the most? Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and as Bruce Lee himself said, be water, my friend.